In this session, you will learn how to use search query performance reports and keywords data to make smarter PPC decisions. You'll see how to spot opportunities, cut wasted spend, and boost both your revenue and also profits. Our guest today is Brandon Young, and before we dive into his session, let's have Augustus introducing the sponsors of SellerFest Online.
Thank you, Lisette. So let me introduce the sponsors of this session. The first one is VAA Philippines, provides trained e-commerce virtual assistants for Amazon, Walmart, and other e-commerce sellers. Ecomc, it's your global Amazon, Walmart, and TikTok growth expert. Exit.io, it's a platform for Amazon FBA buyers, sellers, and investors. Optimal AI by Sellerplex is your Amazon advertising analyst. MerchJar is your AI copilot for Amazon advertising. DataHawk is an enterprise-grade analytics for Amazon and Walmart sellers. And last but not least, VATAi, an international compliance for e-commerce sellers.
And now I'm excited to bring Brandon in with us as well. Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Good. So Brandon, before we go into your today's topic about how to optimize Amazon PPC, could you first give us a little bit information about your background and what you're currently focusing on when working in Amazon space?
Yeah, so my wife and I started selling on Amazon in 2015, so 10 years ago already. Makes us kind of dinosaurs in the space. I think, it's been a long time. And we still have our brand. So we've done over 75 million in sales total. And just this year, we'll do about 15 million. So we're down a little bit from last year, but with more profit. I think that a lot of people, they get caught up on the top number instead of the bottom number, but the profit is what matters more than anything. Aside from that, my large focus, my wife still runs those brands, but my large focus is on education and on data dive. So building out tools for Amazon sellers around keyword research and data analysis. We're building dashboards and agents, AI agents, to help sellers with maximizing their returns, decision-making, product development, ads, everything along those lines to improve their profits.
Okay, so in these roles, you definitely know all ins and outs of what's going on in an everyday life of an Amazon seller.
Yeah, very much.
Okay, cool. So Brandon, before you start your presentation, I just wanted to highlight to our viewers that definitely use the chance to ask Brandon questions. Drop them to the chat after he finishes presenting. We're going to ask all the questions you post there. Also, if you find this session useful, please like this video to show support to him, but also us organizing you this event and bringing the session to you. And if you're not yet a subscriber of Orange Klik YouTube channel, definitely subscribe as well, because then you will see similar videos in the future, which help you to be on top of everything you need to be as an Amazon seller. And now I think Brandon is ready to present. If you can just go full screen with your presentation, and then we are ready to go.
Sounds good. So I appreciate everybody hanging out today. What we're going to do today is we're going to look at what data points you need to be looking at to make better decisions in your Amazon business. I think a lot of people, a lot of sellers that I've spoken to in the past, they know they need to run ads. They know they need to, optimize those ads to try to get profit out of their product. And I think that the way that they go about it is maybe only a part of the puzzle. So a couple things that I'll say is that, first of all, there are a lot more keywords than you think most of the time. And I think that a lot of people think that if they just turn on some broad and phrase campaigns, that they'll cover most of those, and an auto campaign, they'll cover most of those. I think you need to go much deeper. You need to be targeting a lot more keywords with exact campaigns, and you need to use longer tail, more specific routes that are more likely to convert. Use those also as broad and phrase campaigns. So you should be targeting, many hundreds of keywords for most products versus like the dozens of keywords that I see often targeted. So you got to go much deeper. To that, the caveat to that, though, is that you don't want to put too many keywords in one campaign, because Amazon will throttle your impressions. And so the data we get back needs to be informed based on how Amazon works, how their algorithm works and how to play within their structure. And so you may have turned on a campaign with 50 keywords and only 8 or 10 are getting impressions, so you think like those don't matter. The reality is, if you had just set up 10 campaigns with 5 keywords in the right structure, you would be getting impressions on all 50. So you need to figure out and understand truly how Amazon's algorithm works and how their ad platform works, and then what data to be looking at to maximize your returns on investment. So, I've already given a small introduction of myself. We have been teaching since 2018 as well. I think once we started to figure out what not to do, that was a real breakthrough for us. But, really we just make decisions based in data. And I think that it's understanding how Amazon works and then using the performance of your own listings or using data around how current sellers are getting their sales in order to make better product decisions, using AI now for product development. And that's one of the bonuses that I'm working with Klik for everyone watching, is that I've got a 3-day workshop where we will take you from product idea to product development and sourcing in 3 classes, where we show you how to use AI and data to validate a product, design a product, validate that design, and then go source it. So it's pretty exciting. So that's a bonus offer for all of you. Today, we're going to be digging into some pretty deep stuff around what data to make better decisions and why. So PPC is just one part of the puzzle. How Amazon ranks your products and how you get organic ranking is what matters more than anything. I think the number one reason to be running ads should be to impact organic ranks. If you're not thinking about organic ranks, and you're relying mostly on paid ads to run sales, then you're going to be in a position where you're struggling for profitability. If you are running ads as a pay-to-play system, the way that Amazon has set it up, the number one objective should be to try to get those organic impressions and organic clicks and organic sales. And then that blend will be your profit. So you have to understand how Amazon ranks. And so this is basically a really rudimentary breakdown of the formula. It's the relevancy of a product on a keyword, a specific like ASIN to a keyword, and then the performance. And so if you've unlocked the relevancy the same as 20 competitors on a keyword by writing that keyword into your listing or being in the right campaign, then the order that those 20 products will be ranked on that keyword will be strictly based on the performance of those products through that specific keyword and related keywords. And so the performance would be your click-through rate, your conversion rate, and your overall revenue. So overall revenue is weighted pretty heavily, but conversion rate is generally the most important. And so you want to make sure that you are understanding this formula more than anything. And the reason is because we can look at how you're performing versus your competitors when we look at some advanced data. So here's a quick step-by-step SOP for optimizing your ad spend using data dives, Rank Radar, and those advanced reports that we're bringing into Rank Radar for you. The objective is to look at search query performance, impression share, your ads performance, your organic rank data. We'll also talk about some of the other factors that might be taken into consideration when making ads decisions, including inventory levels, your competitor data. What your competitors are doing really impacts your ads performance as well. The seasonality, a lot of these other things matter as well. So here's basically the SOP. We're going to do a quick win. One of the things that I like to do is we just do a really quick win. If you're looking at all the data, what does it mean? There's a lot of different things on the page. A really, really quick win is going to be where you look for a few data points to make a quick decision on where you can spend more money. And so I'm going to talk about where can you spend more money? Well, if your conversion rate is high and higher than your competitors on your ads, and then you go to SQP report and you look at your search query performance report, and you're performing better from a click share and maybe a conversion share, a conversion rate than your competitors, but your organic rank is maybe not in the top 15 or top 10. And the other point would be that the keyword is highly specific to your product, right? specificity of the keyword would allow you to understand how much higher you can rank. If all of those things are true, then you should be probably spending more money. Now, the impression rank would be basically where you're spending. So if I come over, you guys can pause the replay. You can come back in and look at this. I want to show you really quickly what that might look like. I have some screenshots. So here's your PPC data. Let's say we have a keyword where we have a conversion rate of 20%. We have an impression rank over here of 20. Now, in this situation, this means that there are 19 competitors who have spent more money than us on this keyword. Now, we're converting well. There's only a little bit of data, 15 clicks and 3 sales in the last 30 days. So we've got 3 units sold, 15 clicks. So we've got a lot of data on this line here. Now, what's important and what I was talking about is that the relevancy of this keyword is only 19%. So it's a faster moving keyword. We're not highly accurate or relevant for this keyword maybe. And so we need to evaluate the specificity of this keyword beyond this number, this relevancy number. This is just telling me from the niche competitors that I chose to align myself with in VATAi that only 20% of them are basically on the first page of this keyword. Now, why does that matter? It matters because my rank being 16 or 19 or 23 or 15 might actually be pretty good. If I'm the 3rd best seller on this keyword or in my niche, and I'm number 3 on this keyword from those niche competitors, but organic rank number 16. So of the 16 competitors, only 3 are in my niche that I've chosen that are selling the same product. That means that I've kind of hit my ceiling. My ceiling might be in that 16 to 20 range until I become the 2nd best seller in that sub niche. And so a lot of people don't understand that 16 might be the ceiling, right? And you have to be able to evaluate that. So all the data points matter, but then there's always the caveat, it depends. And what I'm trying to do today with you today is to be able to look at all the data points and be able to ask yourself, because the answer is always it depends. Can I rank higher? It depends. Can I spend more money effectively? It depends. Can I improve my profitability? It depends. Can I change my spend on different placement target? It depends. All of it always depends. And it depends on a lot of different things, but it boils down to only a few usually. One is going to be the specificity of the keyword for your product, the performance of your product, and also, are you spending more or less money already on this product? Can you optimize your placements? Right? Those are the depends. And so what I want you to do is be able to look at this data points and be able to understand what it depends on and then make better decisions yourself. So if I accomplish that today, it's pretty complicated, but if I accomplish that today where you're able to ask yourself, am I able to spend more money on this keyword? Am I wasting my money on this keyword? Do I need to fix my conversion rate? Do I need to fix my indexing, right? Or do I need to fix my placement? If I can help you ask those 5 questions every single time you look at data, then you'll be leaving this talk and this conversation in a much better position to go optimize your ads in a more effective way. And so what I'm trying to do is give you a platform that gives you all those data points so you can ask those questions, answer that question, and then go make a decision. And eventually we'll have an AI agent that will boil down all of those decisions into some buckets of suggestions of what you can go do, because there's only a few things you can ever do, right? At the end of the day, there's 5, 6, 7 things that are even possible to do. It's spend more money, spend less money, reduce your bid, increase your bid, improve your conversion rate, and adjust your conversion rate, adjust your indexing, and adjust your ad placement, like your placement modifier. That's, generally that's all you can do. So if we can take all of the infinite possibilities of different data point combinations and boil it down to 5 or 6 things and push it to you to make it, then that'll be great. We'll eventually get there. But for right now, you have to kind of be able to do that yourself in your head and be educated enough to do it, or your ads person needs to be able to do it. And I think most people look at things in a much more elementary way when it goes much deeper. It's like the difference between doing calculus and doing, arithmetic. And, I want to have you leave here and see how deep the rabbit hole goes when it comes to data and decision-making for ads. And so you can see. So you'll get these SOPs, like you'll be able to check the profitability and inventory before increasing your PPC spend. That's really important. I think a lot of people don't look at inventory, right? So how profitable is your product? What are you trying to accomplish? What is your goal? And I like to be goal oriented when it comes to my ads. I'm usually running an ad for ranking. I'm usually running an ad for velocity, and I'm running an ad for profitability. So if those are usually my three objectives, and I'll bucket my campaigns into those portfolios with those objectives. And I need to check that I'm actually marching towards that objective. So if my objective is to increase my velocity, for example, I may not care necessarily about profitability, and the goal there might be because I'm trying to get subscribe and save offers. I'm trying to get a higher BSR or lower BSR and a higher subcategory rank. I'm trying to pump out inventory, right? There's a few reasons I want to increase velocity. If I'm trying for profitability, then I need to make sure that those ads are performing at a certain ROAS or ACoS, and they're only there to basically get more profitability. If I am running ads specifically for keyword ranks, then I'm going back to that chart and I'm watching my keyword ranks over time, and I'm trying to either make sure I'm maintaining my keyword rank because it's a maintenance campaign. Might not be the most profitable, but it's maintaining my organic ranks, which allow me to get that blended organic sales and traffic, which improve my profitability. Or I'm trying to make sure I'm moving in the right direction by spending the money I need to spend on that ad campaign. And if I'm not accomplishing those things, that I don't have a scorecard to check against my objectives for every single campaign, every single keyword, then I'm not doing this in the most optimal way. And ideally, there's a lot to do. It's a lot for one person to manage one product efficiently. And most people can only manage 15 or 20 listings if they're going this deep. But sometimes you go to an agency and they are managing 3 clients worth of portfolios and 100 or 200 ASINs per person. You can't really go this deep most of the time. So you have to use some software. You have to take some shortcuts, and hopefully they're doing it the right way for you. The other thing is to optimize your bidding strategy. So you want to increase bids on keywords in tier 2 and 3 where PPC conversion rate is high and indexing is strong. Now, again, you're going to check against here the specificity of the keyword and your ceiling. What I want you to get into the habit of doing is being able to create an accurate target for your organic rank. So when you have an objective for organic ranking, you might say that currently I'm organic rank 20. I believe my ceiling to be 8 or 12, or I'm already at my ceiling, right? And sometimes you might say, I believe my ceiling is a very highly specific keyword. I haven't been spending a ton of money on it, on this keyword, or maybe even related keywords. I believe I can get to 5. Well, now you've set a target and you are able to go and actually test that theory by impacting your ads and spending more money in the right places with the right strategy. So you have exact match. Another one to do is you monitor the match type. So exact match PPCs will generally have the most impact because it's very straightforward. It's direct. The broad match, the reason that the broad match and the phrase match will do a little bit less of an impact is because those clicks and sales and add to carts are spread across many keywords that share the words, but you get credit at a less than 100%. So when Amazon, every single time you get a click, an add to cart, or a sale, those are actions. Those actions will give you credit for thousands of keywords. Those thousands of keywords and the amount of credit you get are related based on match type. So let's say that I am selling a toiletry bag and it is a gray toiletry bag. So if someone searches gray toiletry bag and then I have gray toiletry bag written into my title and they click on my ad for gray toiletry bag and it's an exact match, then I will get 100% of that credit. But let's say that I'm running and I get 20 clicks. I get 20 clicks worth and 10 add to carts and 5 purchases. All of those actions, 100% credit. But let's say I'm running a broad campaign for gray toiletry bag or toiletry bag, and I get 20 clicks on that campaign, but only 5 of those were for gray toiletry bag. I'm only getting 100% credit on the 5 clicks, the 3 add to carts and the 2 purchases, right? And that's a lot less credit for exact for ranking than the 20 clicks, right? So generally, you could be much more targeted. You can get much more focused, much more credit with the same amount of clicks from campaign to campaign for a keyword. It's just straight across. So you want to test bid increases as well if you need to. So you want to regularly, another thing is measure the performance, or regularly review changes in impression rank, organic rank, and PPC conversion rate. So we're looking at that data. If you turn on this ads and you're looking at the previous, this impression rank report we bring in. So one of the things I'll say about impression rank that's really important to know is that it's at the campaign level or the account level, and it's very convoluted sometimes. So let's say you've got a brand that sells, maybe 5 or 10 designs of the same type of product and targeting the same keyword. Your impression share report will be murky because it's basically that keyword, impressions on that keyword for the entire account. And so it's not as reliable there. So you might show a conversion or an impression share of 1, 2, or 3, which leads you to believe that you're spending the most money or near the most money for that keyword, but really that's the most for across many competitors. The same is true as if you're going up against competitors that have a lot of listings targeting the keyword. You might think you need to spend a lot more money because they're ranked ahead of you, but the reality is they're ranked ahead of you because they have 10 products all targeting the same keyword, and so they've got more impressions on that keyword for all of their campaigns and all of their products. So the impression share report is not perfect. It's not in the API. We built an engine to bring it in and enrich it and show it to you, but it's not a perfect tool. Just understand why and how that works. But it is for me, it's a North Star. It gives me an idea, especially if I know how many products I have that target that same keyword. I can go look at my competition, and then I can kind of make a decision, and it gives me at least an idea of where I can maybe spend more money. So, and we looked at tiers, that was, to go back really quickly, evaluate organic ranking. Your organic rank in tier 1 is, 1 to 3. Here, you want to be more of a defensive strategy. Sometimes you can reduce your spend significantly. You can day part it. You can have it on at a much lower budget. Sometimes you can turn it off altogether. That's dangerous sometimes because then if you stop spending on the organic ads or on the PPC, then your organic ranks could potentially slip, and it's tough to get back to top of search sometimes, or you have to overspend to get back there. So just be careful when you start testing in tier 1. Tier 2 is that 4 to 10. You want to evaluate and consider increasing your spend. But again, it all depends. It depends on where you are in your subcategory rank. It depends where you are on the specificity of that keyword. So if the campaign is profitable, your inventory levels support it. That's another big caveat. And the competitors above you are beatable based on the price, reviews, optimization, conversion rates, and subcategory, like they're similar to you. And then organic ranked 11 to 30. Again, you can increase for highly relevant keywords, but that's the caveat. So going back there. So this is the strategy that I use. And then we can go through some data points. I've left a lot of additional slides here, and I'm speaking really quickly. I hope you watch the replay. Go back so you don't miss anything, and that you can go a little bit deeper through these slides. You should get these slides. And I don't have a ton of time. So I wanted to give you as much value as I can in as little bit of time. So I'm really going fast, and I apologize if you're getting lost. Hopefully you can catch up later. So let me go back over here. Let's look. Here's the impression ranks. And then this would be like looking at your issues. Now, I put a line here because we've got some indexing issues. Now, if I see a keyword in the 35 to 55 range, so these down here, this is what I call Amazon's not sure zone. This is where maybe the Amazon thinks this product might be relevant, but they're not sure it's relevant. And so what you need to do is check that you actually wrote that keyword in the exact match somewhere in your listing, because it might be a descriptor keyword like blue toiletry bag. Now, if you don't sell a blue variation, Amazon's probably going to stick you in that not sure zone. And because you probably didn't write blue anywhere in your listing, but they know you're selling a toiletry bag and your competitors are ranked for blue toiletry bag because they have a blue variation. And so they're kind of like, maybe it's not relevant, right? Or you're selling a canvas toiletry bag and this keyword is leather toiletry bag. They're going to bounce you around into the not sure zone and not index, but Amazon's algorithm's constantly searching to find out or figure it out based on performance. So they're kind of bouncing you in and out or keeping you in that not sure zone, allowing people to go page 2 and maybe find something slightly different and buy it. But you need to evaluate that yourself. And if it is highly relevant, then you need to go establish that indexing and fix it by writing it into your listing in the most effective way. Title is weighted more than bullets and backend and search terms and your description. So knowing where to write it. It might also be that you got punished because you wrote it too many times. So another caveat is that Amazon has an anti spam filter in their algorithm, their ranking algorithm. So if you wrote a keyword more than 3 times in exact order, so exact match and more than 3 times for a phrase, then you actually lose your ability to rank on it the more you wrote it. They did this because people were spamming and accumulating the ranking credit and getting to the first top of search within a week of launch just by spamming. So they wrote that into the algorithm, that anti-hack and anti-spam thing into their ranking algorithm like years ago. So a lot of people will, just subconsciously, because the root word or root phrase that you want to rank for is written so many times in long tail, you'll end up writing it 5, 6, 8, 10 times in your listing. That's bad. Don't do that. So go back in, rewrite your title, your bullets, your description. Don't use any phrase you actually want to rank for more than 3 times. You'll end up in a position where you're struggling with indexing. Make sure you're also in the correct subcategories. So you might actually be, Amazon will map keywords to subcategories. So that's another thing to be aware of. So if you're selling dog food, you cannot rank for dog bowls. If you're in the dog food subcategory, dog bowls are actually blocked from that subcategory for indexing and ranking because Amazon wants only highly specific or relevant search results to show up. So you need to be aware of that as well. And that's what I'll say about that. So step 1 is fix your conversion rate. Step 2 is fix your indexing. Step 3 is to then look at all the data and spend more or less money and optimize your ads. So here's another thing here. This is where you can see how you're targeting each keyword. So we actually put this data here for you. So you can see that for this keyword, we have an impression rank of 3. We're converting well. It's got not a ton of search volume. It's a longer tail keyword, but we only have 1 broad campaign and 1 auto campaign that targets this. New feature in Data Dive is if you click on any of this PPC data, it will pull up. I think I have a screenshot of it. It'll pull up the ad campaigns that are there. So you can actually see which campaigns are the ones driving performance, which ones are not. And then you can click to actually go straight out to your ads manager now. We just launched that last week. It's clickable to go straight to ads manager to optimize your ads. So all of it can be done right here within your portal, within Rank Radar. And what I'll say here is this is a gap, right? If I want to increase this from 3 to 1, potentially, I can turn on an exact campaign. I can target this keyword even more. And then that might impact this organic rank because I'm going to spend more money on this keyword that's converting in a more effective way and improve my impressions. I'll get more impressions than my competitors. I'll get more clicks. Supposedly, if the performance stays the same, I will get more sales at a high conversion rate, and then that's good. So another thing here, this one's impression rank 4, seems to be highly relevant, decent long tail again. Only a broad campaign has hit this a couple times, 5 clicks, 1 sale. I have some opportunity to improve this, right? So I'm going 1 by 1 by 1, and I'm understanding how these keywords are related. I can sort this keyword list by root, so I can actually see all the repeated words and phrases within a root, and then I can try to hit a chunk of them at once. The reason I would want to do that is because of the way that you get that attribution I talked about earlier. If I try to optimize 1 root at a time, so 1 phrase at a time, and I target 5, 6, 8 keywords that have that share a phrase, then I'm getting compounded impact. And then that's going to be a great way for you to, in a more efficient way, rank better. So I often suggest that people optimize 1 root at a time. And what I mean by that is that you've got a phrase, you've got 20 keywords that share that phrase, and supposedly that phrase will be, a lot of them will perform similarly because they have the same root. So they should be around the same relevancy. And so I can go and turn on several campaigns that target those 20 keywords, and then I will get more impressions, clicks, add to carts, and sales. And all of those things will help me rank across all of them at a compounded impact. So that's another great strategy for you for optimization. So here's one. I've actually clicked on this because it has one phrase, and one auto campaign. I clicked on it, and you can see the campaigns. Here's the campaign names. We're going to start adding some placement reports. We're going to add some additional reports here, but then I can make a decision, and I can see here that the majority of this performance, 200 clicks, 10 sales, right? It's more than, no, it's going to be a lot more than 10 sales, because about 20 sales, because it's 17% conversion, so it's pretty high. So the total sales is here, 31, 4 and 1, so 36 sales. I can see that most of it is driven by this campaign, and it's performing well. This campaign has this phrase campaign has a lower conversion rate than my exact campaign, actually. So I need to go into this phrase campaign and find out why I'm getting dragged down here. What are these extra clicks being wasted on? And maybe go optimize this phrase campaign a little bit, and then, see if I can expand this. And if I look, my impression rank, did I have it here? Yeah, it's number 10. So there's 9 people spending more money than me on this keyword. It seems to be pretty good. Here's my SQP data as well, and I can pull up my SQP reports. Let me see. Here's the SQP reports, and you can see here that my ASIN conversion, so my ASIN is converting, and this is a weekly report, by the way. So 3 weeks ago, I was at 23%, and I apologize that it's small. On my screen it is as well, but everyone else was at 15. So I use SQP and search query performance data as a benchmark. Am I performing worse or better than my competition? That gives me an idea of whether I need to go adjust my conversion rates, or whether I'm okay to spend more money. 2 weeks ago, though, I actually performed worse. So I use this example to show you. And if I click on any SQP data, it pulls up the SQP reports week over week. And then you scroll all the way to the right to get to your, the purchases side. So make sure you scroll. And then because it's a long report, there's a ton of data in it. We're bringing in as much of it as we can, so you can really look. There's a ton of information here. If you go into the actual SQP portal at Amazon, you can go even deeper. There's some really, really great information there. But this is pretty deep. Like you can get a lot of information, quick wins here, and then you can go even deeper into the actual SQP report. I love that report. It's amazing. So you'll see that 2 weeks ago, I actually struggled. I performed worse than the competition. I need to go ask myself why, right? What happened? What happened last week that made this perform worse? Maybe my competitor had a 5-deal day on, right? Was it an external factor or an internal issue? Was it a, low inventory and maybe I showed that my delivery time would be bad. Maybe I lost buy box. Maybe there was something that happened. I want to go figure that out so I can prevent it from happening again, and I can be aware of what my competitors are doing and maybe reduce my spend during that time. So there's definitely something I need to optimize, but it recovered the following week, right? But not as much. Like 3 weeks ago, I was at 23%. Here I'm at 15, and I'm slightly better this week, this previous week. So I need to find out, how do I go back to that 3 weeks ago? Maybe I ran a 5-day deal 3 weeks ago, right? And then it bounced down. Everyone that, I had a lot of add to carts that people were waiting for a deal, they got it. So, you need to be able to read this data, understand why things happen, what is the driver of these numbers, and then how do you impact it to make it better. That's what we're trying to learn. So the other thing is like the click-through rate. Is my click-through rate better or worse? What's interesting is sometimes if you're in a more broad keyword, your click-through rate could be worse than your competitors, but your conversion rate could be higher. Because a lot of people are shopping, so maybe you have a more expensive option, and a lot of people with cheaper options are on that product page, or there's a few major brands you're going up against in that generic, and they're going to drive a lot more click share. So that's okay. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be targeting that keyword. Just be aware of why that might be, and you'll notice that your conversion rates on those keywords might be lower overall, but still better than your competition. So you're still safe to go spend money there as long as it's driving the organic ranks. So just learn how to use and pull up this report, learn how to use it, how to use the data to make better decisions. That's kind of what we're teaching you, and we're trying to show it up. Now, another thing that we just added is the organic ranks by ASIN, by child. I think that's another really important thing. I'm gonna pause sharing, and I'm gonna go pull up a live report right now. And you'll get this SOP as well.
And while you're pulling up, maybe I can take just briefly one question. So about this last screenshot you were sharing with us, a viewer had a question if this sheet or this display you were dashboard you were showing is from VATAi tool itself.
Yes, that's from VATAi's Rank Radar. And there's a really great discount for Orange Klik members.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have the link to VATAi also in the video description below, so you can go ahead after watching the session and also learn more about what features VATAi has and how you could leverage that for your own business.
Now I've got some toys. Let me see. I'll come back over here. So with toys, like it's one of my biggest brands. Oftentimes, like when you design a toy for a girl, it's like a unicorn. When you design a toy for a boy, it's a dinosaur. It's very standard, right? And so what I want to know is like which keywords are being owned by which variations, because it matters a lot. And so what you want is you want to make sure that the correct variation is showing up for the correct keyword. And so from an ads perspective, you need to be targeting the one you want to push for a keyword rank. And I think a mistake a lot of people make is when they first launch, they're not sure maybe, or they approach their ranking strategy and their launch strategy in a suboptimal way that gives them false data. So before you launch, you need to be thinking about which one is my hero, which one is going to be driving the majority of my sales and clicks, which one's going to get the most impressions and clicks into my listing. And that's often either the cheapest one or the most generic color, the black, the gray, whatever it is. And so that's the one that should be targeting that keyword with ads and pushing. And sometimes what happens is if we have a black, a yellow, and a gray one, and a pink one, and we turn on ads targeting all four and we let Amazon rotate, the data will give us the wrong information, because what will happen is let's say that the yellow one has the highest conversion rate. It has the highest conversion rate because if someone clicks on a yellow one, they're far more likely to actually have wanted that yellow one, right? And so what we're thinking to ourselves is, oh, the yellow one has the highest conversion rate, that's my hero. That's not the case, right? Like you need the one that's going to get the most clicks and the most impressions and the most sales into your listing, and then you can sell the variations. So which variation shows up for which keyword is really important, but also when you're running ads, I want to own all the yellow keywords with the yellow one. I want to be writing it into my listing, all the yellow keywords. I want to write yellow into my title. I want to, in some categories that's allowed. You can have different titles and listing for different colors. So I want to write that in. And then I want to make sure that I'm running ads at all the yellow keywords for the yellow variation specifically, because what that does is it creates highly converting funnels of traffic for each of my variations into my parent listing. I'm going to raise my overall conversion rate. I'm going to raise my overall clicks and sales, my overall profitability. And so the strategy is important. So we want to give you visibility, not just on what your organic rank is for all of your at the parent level. We want to let you know which one's carrying that rank in a very easy to read chart. So what I've done here is I've just taken a quick screenshot here, and you can see that this is now available for you to see. If you clicked on data here, and then you look at, it pulls up this here, you can see the tags, the PPC and the SQP reports, and the top variation. So there's a brand new report. And what I'm looking for is the keywords would be written over here, or not the keywords, the variation names would be written over here. And I would know for a specific keyword that I just clicked on here, which variation is carrying it. Now, what's interesting is you see that throughout the time, sometimes it bounces to another one. That's the inconsistency is concerning sometimes, but it also could be that you see that this variation just disappeared. Maybe I was out of stock. Maybe something happened. That variation got turned off for the day. And then this one seems to be the one with the second highest rank. But what happens here can be concerning. The average rank of this one, which is supposedly the hero, this would be the variation here. You could see the names of the variations are pink, unicorn, dinosaur. You could see here that, let's say that this one is the, and you'll see that it has which one's the top one. Currently, the pink one is the top one, so this one's pink. Maybe this one's unicorn. Those are competing for this keyword. And then dinosaur pops up every once in a while, potentially. but it's not nearly ranked as well. This right here could be concerning to me because these have roughly the same variation, rank. If one of these get a significantly less clicks, I'm hurting the total number of potential sales I'm getting, even if the conversion rate is higher. So I need to try to impact this through my ad targeting, right? And so this is a good example that I pulled up because it does bounce, and you need to be aware of that bounce because a lot of people ask themselves on a regular basis, it's like, hey, why did I get so many less PPC sales one day? Why did I spend less money one day to the next? And it could be because, or why did I just get significantly less clicks and sales and impressions from one day to the next? The answer could be because the organic position for your less popular variation became the hero for that day or for a couple days. And you need visibility on that. And we need to be thinking about this as a data point so that we can impact this ourselves and control this. All right, that's the point. So hopefully that is clear for people.
Perfect. Do you want to resume to your presentation or how we should
can go
continue?
to questions. I know that we're getting tight on time. The rest of the presentation is available. There's a lot more data points. There's a lot more to learn. Obviously, PPC in particular can be a 10-hour class by itself. So as a matter of fact, we have a 12-week program specifically for that, where it's like college level, meeting twice a week, homework. It's literally a college program for PPC. That's how deep the rabbit hole goes. So the best I could do in 45 minutes, and I want to leave some time for questions, so we can pause there. But I'll include the whole presentation. There's probably another 40 slides.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Brandon. And well, actually, now maybe it's a good time to talk about our VIP package, which is available for Seller First Online participants as well, because as I mentioned before, there is one great bonus about it. So let me just show what is included. So if you get the VIP package, the link is in the video description below and also will be posted in the chat. It's additional 20 advanced expert sessions from experts who are participating Seller First Online as speakers. Those sessions are not available anywhere else. It's just for you. You have lifetime access for them. And then we also included 2 great bonuses for you. And let me introduce the first bonus first. So the first is recordings from European Seller Conference 2024, which is the biggest physical conference Orange Klik is organizing every year. So
great event.
Exactly. Brandon has been a speaker there. So yeah, Brandon has
super high level, guys. You need to try to go in person. And if you can't go in person, then get this, because the replays are super valuable. Very impressed by the level of speaker there. A lot of friends in the industry that I know their stuff speak there. People I respect. You guys are really good at curating the content, making sure that it's very high level.
Thank you very much. And definitely this is like one way how you can have like a sneak peek to the conference. But as Brandon said, the best is, of course, to come in person. And the next opportunity is in March 2025. And the second bonus material I want to discuss with Brandon about is an exclusive masterclass. So actually, Brandon, you gave something away which usually is also not available for free. So can you give us a comment about what this masterclass is about?
Yeah, I think that the most important thing for sellers is to always be researching and launching new products, because we have product life cycles. Things don't always go to plan. We get too invested in one product and waste our time as things are getting more competitive. To outpace that, you need to always be developing new products, in my mind, for most people. So what I've done is I've created a 3-day workshop where you will go and look at the data of the competition. You'll analyze the risk, the budget required, the capital, and then you'll use AI to evaluate that niche, to get ideas on how to disrupt that niche. And then you'll use AI to design a better product. And then you will test that design with real market testing tools. And then you will go source that product. So the idea is that you have homework. You will go research a bunch of products after class 1, where you learn how to do that. You will design a bunch of products with AI, so you understand what data to bring in to make better decisions. And then by the end of it, you will actually have a product you're ready to go launch. So in 1 week, with homework and a lot of learning the correct way and using AI and data, you will be able to get really good at product development and find a winning product that you're happy to go launch. And normally it's $500. As a gift for everybody here, we made it absolutely free, 100% free.
Very good. Thank you so much. And this is part of the VAP package. As I said, it has also 20 additional advanced sessions. So definitely check the link below to opt in for it. I think it's definitely very helpful to stay ahead of the competition. But now, as you said, we received a good few questions for you. So let's start with the first question for you. So how do we calculate the impression rank? We get the impression share percentage in the search query performance report.
There's also impression share report as well, not just the SQP report. So we bring that in and calculate it ourselves for you.
Okay, very good. So another question, do you recommend making a campaign for broad only with the same keywords as the exact campaign?
Yeah, there is strategy around waterfalling your match types. I like to have my broad bid a little bit lower than my exact, so that way I'm focusing the majority of those impressions on the exact. But sometimes they do bounce, and you can get a lower cost per click, or you're getting a different placement position. So I don't mind having more than one campaign overlapping. It's just a matter of like controlling your bid strategy. Those slides and that strategy are actually in the rest of the presentation that you should get from this talk.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So let's have another question for you. So what would you recommend to do if a person has been getting a lot of clicks on relevant search terms in the broad campaigns and not converting? What should be the threshold to reduce the bid or make this keyword as negative, even if it's a relevant one?
Yeah, Han, I mean, this is an issue with your conversion rate and your offer generally. So like that's where you go to that SQP report and you look at where your conversion rate is versus your competitors. It might just be a less than, you said it's highly relevant. So you got to look at where your competitors are ranking or converting. And the steps are very clear. Don't spend money unless you're converting better than your competition, and for the most part, or it's holding up keyword ranks. So those are the two thresholds. So fix conversion first. Figure out what is wrong with your offer. Maybe you have the wrong design. You need to launch a new hero, bring it in, and make that one the hero. So you have a more appealing design. Maybe your size, your color, your shape, your reviews, your price point. Maybe you're not, you don't have enough as much value as your competitors. Fix that first, and then worry about spending.
Very good answer. So Brian is saying everything is great, what you shared, and the dashboard also looks great, but has a question. So for an existing brand, how do I use this info to help my PPC? Do you include a guide how to use DataDive and all of the features you have?
That's the PPC training that you need to have, that you just need to get good at PPC. So whether it's a PPC class within Klik or within seller systems, you probably need to go deeper into your knowledge and training around PPC. As a matter of fact, I think today is the first day of our 12-week program, our next cohort. If you're interested in that, I mean, I can work out a deal with Klik for a discount and provide you guys an idea of how to join that.
Very good. And then one last question from Sahid. So what's the process for deciding whether to protect branded terms aggressively with PPC when Rank Radar shows competitors' incursions?
Yeah, I think that for the most part, the juice is not often worth the squeeze there, like to get more aggressive, because you're going to end up with those clicks and sales regardless. So it's a matter of testing the delta there. So when you spend more, do you see a higher conversion rate and more sales, and protecting your organic ranks? You should always be one of the top of search results if it's your branded keyword. If they're infringing on your branded keyword in some capacity, maybe they're doing something that's against the rules, putting your trademark in their listing, for example. So you got to be careful.
Okay, very good. So thanks again, Brandon, for joining us today and for sharing everything you know. As you said, there's definitely way more to share with the audience. So definitely subscribe to our channel to see future videos with Brandon. And also we have the link to DataDive in the video description below, so you can have a look at the tool as well. So thanks a lot, Brandon, for joining me, and I hope to see you soon again.
Thank you so much. Great to see everybody. And thank you for having me. I'll talk to you soon.
And now I would like to invite you to watch another video where you will learn how to find the best keywords for your product listing using DataDive tools.